Namaskar, Kaikai and her relevance today. Kaikai is the perfect case for teaching our children our Itihasa. Quintessential stepmother, hateful, grabber, selfish woman, temperamental, tainted, evil, vicious. Such are the flaws that come to mind when we think of Kaikai. And indeed, on the face of it, Kaikai is everything a woman should not be. The most beautiful and the youngest of Dashrath's wife, Kaikai is one of the most despised characters in the Ramayana saga. Portrayed as weak and easily swayed by the evil Manthara, the character of Kaikai is dreamed to tell us what one should not be. However, Kaikai is not that one-dimensional character. There is a lot more to her than the easily swayed evil persona that we think. Look at Kaikai from before the time she asked for Vanavasa for Ram. Who was she? Kaikai was the princess of the kingdom of Kaikai. She was Dashrath's third wife and much younger to him. Dashrath already had two wives, Kausalya and Sumitra, when he married Kaikai. Kaikai was not just extremely beautiful, but she was also a very well-versed princess. She was trained as a warrior and was an expert charioteer, someone whom in today's day we would celebrate as highly accomplished. And she did not just learn and forget those skills, she actually accompanied her husband and used them in battle. In one such battle, when Dashrath is grievously injured, she manages to extricate him from the battlefield. Accomplished, brave, skillful, resourceful, these are the traits that were inherent in her. And these are the traits that are worth emulating. When such a woman becomes the queen and has the king's ear, she gains unparalleled power, and Kaikai was powerful. To complete the story of Kaikai saving Dashrath, out of gratitude for her valor and timely action, Dashrath grants her two boons. Kaikai at that moment does not need anything, so requests for those boons to be kept in abeyance so that she could ask for something when she wants it. If one wants a complete picture of Kaikai the person, it is important to remember these aspects of her character too: her bravery, her fighting skills, her ability to forego instant rewards. These are traits that should be emulated. Unfortunately, her later actions make us forget them. Let us go back a little in time, to the time when Dashrath marries Kaikai. At the time of their marriage, Kaikai's father extracts a promise from Dashrath that her son would be his successor. Now, trying to safeguard her future in the face of a much older husband, we can't blame her father for that. And Dashrath, can we blame him? His wife hadn't borne sons for many years. One doubts whether Dashrath, even in his wildest of nightmares, could have anticipated what eventually happened. As fate would have it, even after many years of marriage, Kaikai does not beget a son. The kingdom needs a successor, so Dashrath consults with his Rajgurus. He is advised to perform the Putra Kameshti Yagya. Putra means son and Kameshti means wishing for. It's a yagya performed to beget a son and a successor. Long story short, the yagya is successful and all three wives bear children, sons. Kausalya gives birth to Ram, Sumitra to Lakshman and Shatrughan, and Kaikai to Bharat. Ram is the eldest and most capable, and he is everyone's choice as a successor for Dashrath, including Kaikai. Now, had Kaikai forgotten Dashrath's promise to her father? Did Dashrath forget it? How come Kaikeyi did not remind him of that promise? The answer is very simple. Kaikeyi knows that Ram is the most capable one for becoming the king. She knows this is what the Raja and the Praja of the kingdom want. She is educated and she realizes that the king's dharma is to provide the best successor. And plus, she has always adored Ram as much she has adored her son Bharat. So she rejoices with everyone else when Dashrath announces the plan to coronate Ram as king. Yet when Manthara, her maid, paints a dire picture describing their future where Kausalya would become Dashrath's favorite, her son Bharat would become just another subject, and goes on poisoning her mind, Kaikeyi loses all her wisdom and succumbs to Manthara's advice. Manthara urges us to evoke her two pending boons and ask for coronation for Bharat and exile for Ram. Kaikeyi, in her induced panic, couldn't think through the consequences of her actions. All she sees is the grim picture that Manthara has painted. Dashrath begs her not to insist on sending Ram to the forest, saying that he would not be able to survive it. Yet she is unable to see beyond the picture Manthara has painted. She just could not believe that it could affect her husband to that extent. Sadly, the consequences of her demands go way beyond her wildest imagination. Dashrath, her husband, passes away in grief. Bharat, her son, disowns her and chooses to spend his life in a self-imposed exile. He lives like an ascetic in a hut outside the capital, governing the kingdom in the name of Ram, never becoming the king himself. She not only doesn't get to see her son as king, she loses her husband and her son's love and respect. One wonders if she had had the wisdom to foresee the consequences of her demands, would she still have made them? Kaikeyi's story evokes a lot of questions. For example, what happened to the promise given to Kaikeyi's father? Was it right for Ram to be declared crown prince when Dashrath had promised Kaikeyi's father that her son would be king? Personally, I am in support of the decisions, and I have two main reasons. The one is Ram was the most capable, and the king's duty is to provide the best successor. Also, Kaikeyi did not beget a son in the natural course of events. This, in my view, would invalidate the promise given to her father. The son she does get is the phala of a yajna where all three wives were equal participants. A debate on the ethics of not honoring the proper promise to Kaikeyi's father would still be a fruitful exercise regarding ideas like, is a personal promise to a wife more important than a Raja's dharma to his praja? Or when circumstances change, is it wise to stick to the letter of an agreement? I'd love to hear your opinion on all this. Some other questions that we could talk about. Was Kaikeyi right in insisting on Ram's vanvas when Dashrath agreed to crowning Bharat king and made it clear that he could not bear Ram's exile? Why was it that after years of being the favorite and dominant queen, Kaikeyi did not have the confidence to dismiss Manthara's grim picture? Why was it that she did not have enough faith in Ram to realize that he wouldn't allow such a picture to become reality? Was it possible that she herself had behaved in a way that was unjust to Dashrath's other wives and therefore found it easy to believe that they would belittle her? The goal here for understanding Kaikeyi is to see if her actions are relevant in today's world. We talk of women empowerment. Kaikeyi's valor, warfare expertise should be a case of study. So should be her eventual capitulation to the machinations of her maid Manthara. Are education, accomplishments, power, status, having the king's ear, a guarantee of wisdom? As women scale heights in their chosen career, are they susceptible to the corruption of the mind, just like Kaikeyi was? Isn't the ability to think through all the possible consequences of a decision or a demand a valid expectation we can have now that women are wielding more and more power? What can we do to ensure that a superbly capable, accomplished woman in today's world simultaneously develops the wisdom that would prevent her from falling prey to putting personal ambition above morality, ethics, morals, mistakes and consequences, rights and wrong? The easiest way to teach them without being preachy is through stories. Maybe all it needs is the teaching of Ramayana and Mahabharata in schools. Discussing the actions every character takes, talking about what they did right and where they went wrong. How outcomes could have been different had the actions been different. How seemingly injustices often have nuances that are not obvious. We have a rich Itihasa. We can take every character and explore their strengths and weaknesses and teach our children honorable behavior and an incorruptible attitude. Namaskar.